Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam. Namaskar. Om Prabha, how are
Namaskar.
you?
Sir, I'm fine. How are you, sir?
Good. I'm fine. I'm there for you only. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. I'm there. Don't worry. When everybody comes in, you can start. Right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
let us check whether I can share or not. You give me that option of sharing document.
Okay, sir. Sir, now you are co-host.
Yes. Thank you. Then let me check. Let me check first. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Can you see my document?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. So I will just I will stop sharing now. Then we will start. Right? You can see that, right?
Yes.
I will just
Yes.
make it enlarge. Let's tell me whether it is correct. Just a minute. And am I audible rightly?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Is it okay?
Sir, PPT is not enlarged. It is not full view.
It is enlarged. I can see that. It is enlarged at my end.
But here is not.
Not yet. But can you read
Not
it?
yet. Yes, sir. We can read it.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Next time I'll stop right now.
Okay.
है
Sound off this. Sound off. Good. Sound off. Sound effect.
Before the commencement of this session, I request all the participants
मॅडम बाकीचे माईक
Yes. I request all the participants, please keep your mic on silent mode, mute mode, so that it will not create disturbances, because we have to listen the resource person's deliberations. So, shall we begin? Pabrekar sir, Auchar madam.
Yes, madam.
Please.
Yeah.
We can.
Good afternoon,
Yes,
sir.
Good afternoon. Namaskar, madam. How are you?
Yes, sir, I am fine. How are you,
Good.
sir?
How was your Pasgani trip?
It was very fine. It was wonderful indeed.
I know. I'm aware of that. You enjoyed that. Good.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, good evening, one and all. At the outset, I welcome you all in this online national level 1 week faculty development program, which is organized on the topic implementation of national education policy, challenges and opportunities in HEIs. And today is the third day of the program. And today's resource person is Dr. P.N. Pabrekar sir. First of all, I welcome Dr. P.N. Pabrekar sir on behalf of the college. Now I am here to introduce you to today's resource person, Honorable Dr. P.N. Pabrekar sir. Honorable Dr. Pramod Pabrekar sir rendered 43 years of his service in education field and superannuated on 31st May 2018. Presently, he is working as Senior Consultant, Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan, Department of Higher and Technical Education, Government of Maharashtra since 2018. Then he is also Nodal Officer for Center for Leadership Development, MSFDA. He was professor in chemistry at Kelkar Vazai College during 1984 to 2015. Then from 2015 to 2018, he served as principal at ICLES Motilal Junjunwala College, Vashi, Navi Mumbai. He is a member of peer team visit appointed as assessor by the NAC since 2011 and visited Kerala, West Bengal, Bihar, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and many more. He is associated with activities governed by the Chancellor's Office since 1997, such as Indradhanush, Krida Mahotsav, Avishkar, and Ahvan. He has written guidelines for the conduct of state-level competitions such as Indradhanush, Krida Mahotsav, Avishkar, Ahvan. And he also worked as chairperson, observer committee appointed by the secretary to governor to oversee the events Indradhanush 6 times, Avishkar 3 times, and Ahvan 4 times. He delivered a number of lectures on NAC-related activities. He is also member of several committees of Government of Maharashtra. He is research guide in chemistry and environmental science. He presented many research papers in chemistry and social sciences at international conferences at Japan, Bangkok, Dubai, London, UK, and Toronto, Canada. He published research papers in many national and international journals. He is also author of 15 books in chemistry. He is a recipient of Best NSS Program Officer, University of Mumbai, Best Teacher Award, University of Mumbai. He delivered a number of lectures on youth activities on air and DD Sahyadri channel. He is a recipient of number of awards in recipes, photography, and poetry competitions. He organized number of cultural and educational programs. His hobbies are photography, recipes, and poetry. He published 3 titles in Marathi poetry, namely Finger Bowl.
Prabha, thank you very much. Let us put it only in single line now.
Yes, sir. Means this is his brief resume. With this, I welcome you, sir, on behalf of my college and request you to deliver your speech on some views on promotion of Indian languages, arts, and culture. Dr. P.N. Pabrekar, sir.
Can you see my slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can see
It's
it.
now,
Is
yeah,
it
it
clear
is
now? Very
enlarged.
clearly? Okay.
Yes, sir. It is visible, clear.
To begin with, I must thank you very much to the principal of the college, that is Jamkar College from Parbhani, Principal Bosle, and Vice Principal Sangeeta Avchar, Madam, and of course, mainly I am here because of the connectivity between myself and Om Prabha, right? We have not met yet, but then we are nicely bonded to this media almost from last 2-3 years. Thank you, Om Prabha, for contacting me and connecting me to all these wonderful invited teachers all over India. I mean, I'm aware that there are all teachers coming from Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha, Uttarakhand, Assam, Bihar, Haryana, West Bengal, Goa, Punjab, Nagaland, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh, Jammu and Kashmir, and Chennai. It is really a nice thing that almost 20 states are covered. Congress compliments to the organizer for this, that you are connecting almost the Bharat Jodo Abhiyan, right? It's a very good kind of thing. And naturally, the topics selected by you, especially for the theme selected by your college, especially for this FDP, implementation of NEP 2020, challenges and opportunities in HEI. It's a very good kind of program. And I'm aware that I'm sitting before. Normally, I say standing before, but right now I'm sitting at my own Mumbai. And all my colleagues, teachers from all over India have joined this particular virtual program. So, with regards, please request all the participants to mute their mics. Om Prabha, please see that, because if the control is over hand, you will find out someone is saving. They should,
Yes. Yes. All the participants are requested to please keep your mic on mute mode, because we have to listen our resource person. We have to listen his deliberation, please.
Do you have anybody, technical person who can find out from that and he can put off that?
Yes, actually,
Yes,
we have
yeah.
some.
Abhijit sir.
Yes.
Abhijit sir Naik sir. Please
Yes,
take
I am
the
doing it.
control.
It's randomly happening. Therefore,
Okay, ask them, Abhijit, you do one thing.
I will do
Put
it.
everybody's mics off and then you put me on, so that it will be automatically controlled.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Yes. Now you can continue, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you very much, Om Prabha and Abhijit, for allowing me, connecting me to all the people. I'm aware that I said I'm sitting before this intellectual class of society coming from all over nation, all over India, and I have a very high regards that I'm going to interact, rather putting my views. I'm not here to teach anybody to anybody, because I know that all those who have joined this particular program, they all are teachers, well qualified, having minimum master's degrees, SETNET, PhDs, etc., and number of years of their services as far as their subject is concerned, because they are master in subject, and most of them, because they come from different parts of nation, naturally, they know their own culture, tradition, languages, etc., etc. So I will not take much of time. I will see that I'll wind up my entire presentation as early as possible, so that we can give some time for interaction. So thank you once again to Om Prabha and all my colleagues from the Jamkar College. And thank you very much for that. So I proceed further. Just a minute. Let me check up how can I. Okay. So this is my. Thank you, Om Prabha, for introducing me. Even though I worked for 43 years of my service, I'm still working, because it's my passion that I want to still continue whatever best possible. So I don't feel that I am a very old man, but I can say that I'm a young old man, and I'm trying to learn still from many of you. So thank you for that. And we proceed further, that we talk about the India's culture, the different forms of arts, works of literature, customs, tradition, linguistic expressions, artifacts. Now, the term artifacts is very interesting. Basically, these are the objects made by the human beings, especially, connecting of their art, the different kind of tools, different kind of clothes, and the design, presentation, and many different kind of, you can say, the sculptures and whatnot. So this is, I mean, whenever we go and move around and visit, especially when you go on travel and tourism, I do not know, because I normally enjoy, but I could not still completely cover the entire nation, where I could, because I was referring to some of my friends joining from Assam and the northeast states of our India. But I have almost covered the 3/4 part of the nation, and still I have to yet reach to the northeast part of India. Let's see how when I'm going to get the entire, I mean, the time for that. I mean, you should, I mean, whether we are aware of our culture, different kind of traditions, even though it is of our own thing, even we'll be happy. But then being an Indian as such, because when we are completing 75th year of our independence celebration, and then still we do not know our own country. I mean, this is my view, because I'm still trying to know more and more. The more you go in deep, the more you know about your own country, because our history of our country, our different traditions, our different culture, different kind of languages spoken, different kind of people, the attitude, behavior, the kind of knowledge they are having. I know it's very interesting. Whenever you get a chance to meet, I always say that whenever I meet a very senior person, senior than me, right? And I like to give some more time while dealing with those senior person, or if I say they are senior not only by age, but they are rich with their knowledge, because they have spent more time as compared to me, and they have experienced a lot as compared to me. And on the other side, when I meet the today's youth, I still learn from them, because they are more faster, they are technologically aware, they know much better things, and so there is a wide kind of knowledge spectra, where we can learn a lot from any human being around us. And that is only what is required and needed, is that how open you are in accepting that. So art forms a major medium for imparting culture. When you talk about a culture, when you go back, I'm not here to because I know that there are people coming from different parts of the state. They may have their own different subjects, and because my subject is chemistry, so I know very little about history and economics, and what the knowledge kind of I have is only by reading the books, or maybe by reading the newspaper, by hearing the news on the channels, and etc., etc. But then is it, I mean, how many of us know that our own culture, our own tradition, our own behavioral pattern, our own nature, different kind of attitude, approach, and different kind of art associated with our own state, or even our own city and all, right? And these languages, because languages plays a very important role, because this is naturally connected to link to the art and culture. When you talk about our own art, when you talk about our own cultural tradition, we need the language is a medium. It is not only medium of instruction as far as learning is concerned or teaching is concerned. It is a medium by which we can express, by which you can understand, by we can different ways of expressions by we can do, right? And the art in the form of literature, music, films need language for expression. Naturally, it is true that when we say that, when you hear I mean, whenever you refer to any kind of when you read a good novel and good kind of thing, it is by the way you might have grasped it as per your capacity or ability is concerned. But then knowing that particular thing from somebody, for example, I said I'm a science teacher, right? I mean, now all I can say I'm a person of chemistry, but my connectivity with the language is mainly because of the teacher who has taught me the language, like Marathi, when we were students of inter science, or when we were students of junior college or something like that. That time the teachers who has taught us has imbibed some culture in us by understanding the beauty of language, that how it can lead to expression, lead to understanding the different kind of knowledge available in different forms. In music, when you say, you feel always that very interesting, that you love music, you listen to music, different kind of music, the script or the music available in the South End is something different. When you talk about Garba, come to Gujarati. When you come to Marathi, we talk about Lavani and other things. There are different kind of forms of the music's expressions, and of course the traditions in that. And then the different kind of films we talk about, national award-winning films, international level kind of film. We talk about film festivals happening, and when we normally also talk about Oscar award. I mean, why this Oscar award and etc. are more important, and how it plays a role, how it talks about our cultural tradition, our knowledge, our system, etc. Right? And therefore, any kind of thing which you want to communicate requires a language. It is a language. Language talks in terms of words. Language talks in terms of expression. Language talks in terms of descriptions and many more important things. I know that there is going to be a deliberation by one of the teacher, maybe tomorrow by Dr. Ruta Dharmadikari, who will be able to speak better than me because he is a language teacher from the LAD college, or there is a person who is going to talk to tomorrow, Professor Vani Laturkar, who also comes from different part of the state, and she has her own expressions and her own knowledge in sharing with you, right? So, and therefore we should preserve our own language, our own promote that our own cultural language. Are we doing that? I mean, how many of we are aware that our own mother tongue, say for example, you say I'm from Maharashtra and my mother tongue is Marathi, but then because I stay in Mumbai, and Mumbai is so crowded and so packed with number of different kind of people coming from all different parts of the states of nation. There is now the language of Mumbai is different, right? We say normally it is a Bombaya Hindi and whatnot, or the expression of the language has changed in such a way that everybody has started adapting some different terms, and then sometimes you feel that where is the original language? Where it has gone? I mean, is it communicative language may be different, the spoken language may be different, the origin of the mother tongue, their own script may be different, but then how easily we accept, we exchange, we get adapted to all these things is also to be noted. But then in doing so, that sometimes feel that what is going to happen, kya hone wala usme. But then unknowingly we are contributing for our own languages to becoming endangered, right? And therefore we should know that our own mother tongue. I mean, sometimes I really feel that the stage has come now. Of course, I will come to that later also, that we talk about see, you can see the next point, losing 220 languages in last 50 years. How many languages are there? Spoken languages, the original language in our own nation. It is said that there are thousands of languages, but then officially accepted languages are only regional kind of languages and whatnot. And how easily we are accepted. Now the language in which we are communicating, we consider that the language is known, and therefore it is called, because it is known as a world language, and therefore we use it commonly, right? And then it happens, of course. So it is nothing to compare or nothing to put anybody kind of thing, but it is universally accepted fact that the language in which I'm speaking right now, right, it is worldwide accepted, and therefore we try to connect to the entire nation, international level and whatnot. And these 220 languages in last 50 years of our own languages, or maybe there are different kind of languages which have been already lost because they were not practiced, they are not in use. It is, I mean, I know when we talk about, I do not know, I was just trying to understand this, the different kind of origin of language, different languages, their own origin. I came to know that the Tamil language is supposed to be the oldest one, 5,000 years and or whatnot. But there are many other languages which they have their own origin, their own past, and their own culture kind of things, and how this might have been. I mean, today, when you talk about comparing today, when there is a system available, like we talk about the drives, we talk about the computer, we talk about the pen drives, we talk about the storage kind of facilities and whatnot. What might have been happened those days when, when they wanted to really curtail, they wanted to put in, they want to preserve it, all those documentation, whether they are available or not. Sometimes, when we go to museum, I mean, museum is a very interesting kind of thing. When we enter and when we see really the museum, then we come to know, oh my goodness, what kind of things were available those days. different kind of the artifacts, different kind of languages, different kind of culture, different kind of pictures, paintings, and whatnot and whatnot. The kind of those days, how they might have preserved it. And it was, and then in the time to come, I mean, because of I don't say not interest, but because of our busy schedule and kind of thing, many things might have gone in the in a process of indulging the kind of thing. And in UNESCO has declared that almost about 200 Indian languages are in dangerous position, that they may be wiped off totally because of not in use. And most of the let us talk example of language Sanskrit, supposed to be the origin of number of languages. Because we don't speak Sanskrit, we don't try to understand. We might have learned Sanskrit language only for the purpose of in the school age or maybe in the college age. But there is, I'm happy that we are proud that there is one of the university in the state of Maharashtra, and there are of course many in the different states of the Indian nation, that there are universities which are dedicated to the language of Sanskrit. In Maharashtra at Ramtek, there is a university called as Kavi Kuluguru Kalidas Sanskrit University, which is not only taking care of Sanskrit language, but there are a number of Indian knowledge systems kind of programs are being cultivated, cultured, being taught, and therefore they try to preserve our own Indian knowledge system and our own traditions and etc. But there are many things to be discussed on that. The teaching and learning of Indian language to be integrated, right? I mean, I do not know, because now it is. I mean, when I was going through this document because Om Prabha has made me. Thank you, Om Prabha, that you have made me to read this document of NEP almost 2-3 times, because when I want to deliberate, when I want to talk, I should know basically what I am. And my appeal to all my dear friends, you might have definitely read this document of NEP, National Education Policy 2020. I mean, I salute to all those people, those who have contributed in preparing this document. You may be aware that the first document, which was prepared as a draft document of NEP, was in thousands of pages, right? Almost 1,000 pages. And then when it was given to, before preparing this document, this committee, which was appointed at the national level, they reached to the almost to different stakeholders, not only stakeholders of education system, but often different kind of people, school teachers, students, the sarpanchas, the different kind of personalities available in the entire nation. And they invited all this number of the suggestions and whatnot. And there were number of lakhs of suggestions were given. And then the committee has taken almost 3 months of time to come out to this ultimate and final document. And this final document is so interesting. I really have a great salute to all those people, those who have really done a wonderful job. When you look at this, it's a policy document. When you talk about national education policy document, naturally, which has covered it is not only how it will be. It's a dream document naturally. And when you talk about your dream, to fulfill the dream, naturally you have to work on that. You have to do a lot of things, of course. And because any kind of change, it is always said that change is a slow process. So it will take time. But then the output is going to be the result of this after few years will be definitely something good, which will when I was referring to the part of this, especially the promotion of languages and the art and culture, etc. Then I came to know, my goodness, what a proper thought has been given in regard to preserving our own kind of languages, our own culture tradition. Because normally we don't take care of that. We only have a routine life of getting early in the morning, do our job, or whatever I say job, because we are trying to earn something out of that. And then when sometimes we feel that we are satisfied, we are happy at a very small kind of thing, and by the time the entire get over, then we really go to sleep and we dream the kind of dreams what you get. But then why don't we think this particular dream of a nation, right? Education policy, the new education policy is a dream of the entire nation, changing the nation. And for a country like us, 75 years of independence is a very small number. But then our own Indian tradition is different, and we have to study about that. We should know that. So only we will be playing a role of being a teacher in the teaching education system. We are lucky that we are the part of education system, and the teachers are expected to contribute for the change to be carried out, for the change, for any kind of good thing which is happening in the society. It is our duty, and we should accept this challenge and supporting this particular challenge of fulfilling the dream as far as the Indian nation is concerned. So, I mean, I'm not talking in terms of talking in some sort of supporting of XYZ person or something like that. I said I respected, I saluted all those people who have contributed in preparing this document, which has taken a number of years. It is not a document which was prepared in a day or two. It was a number of years was put in up, and then therefore this a fantastic document of NEP has already being existed, right? Now, therefore, I said the teaching and learning of Indian language be integrated. What we teach and what we learn. I mean, as a teacher, do you really feel that normally we say that as a teacher, we are all fully qualified, we know everything and whatnot. But I don't agree as far as individually I am concerned, because every person, whether you are a teacher or not, we still learn, and you can become a good teacher only when you learn. Learning is a process which never stops till the end of your life. You have to learn every day, and that learning gives you a lot of things. And that learning from anybody, whether it is a young person or the part of the community, part of the society, or the senior person, for any kind of impact of media on you and whatnot, or any kind of a system by which you learn. That learning will give you a lot of things that will increase your spectrum of your knowledge, and they can do a lot of things. So and it is a fact that severe scarcity of skilled language teachers in India. I have with due respect to all the teachers who are involved in the teaching community, teaching the languages, right? I salute, because by the time I came to know the importance of language, I was already started teaching in subject of chemistry, right? But then, as I was mentioning about one of the point, that when I was a student of interscience studying science, there was one paper or topic or subject of one of the language of mine was Marathi, and where we were lucky that this language of Marathi were taught to us by the then great literature people, or the authors and the poets, and therefore that interest has still imbibed in me, and therefore I could continue to learn not only because of my mother tongue, but when I looked at the language as a part, that how important it is, I'm still learning that, and I could do something in that part, because Om Prabha was trying to give that about my own introduction, where there were few lines which are left out, and therefore I stopped there, so that I wanted to use in my deliberation that even though I'm a professor of chemistry, I am also an author of number of books in Marathi literature, and also an poet. And there are 4 Marathi poetry titles are being published, and I could enjoy that. I'm still enjoying. So that language of Marathi, or one of the language which I could express myself, my feelings, my experience and whatnot, I'm trying to connect to some part of which is called as, there will be some kind of lyrics which I'm writing, and it is going to come out in the form of the video songs and whatnot. So it is a beauty of the language, where you can express. So why it is said that the language teachers in India, I mean, there are very less number of skilled teachers who are still not. I mean, the number is very small. Of course, I don't say that there are many, but then unfortunately, the language has become, except where the students who ask and study their graduation in literary languages, become masters in English literature or masters in Sanskrit and whatnot. I mean, leaving that aside of the teachers, but then in other cases, the language is just being put up in the syllabus only as a part of the curriculum, and you have to just pass it, and therefore nobody bothers for that. Only I have to pass in the subject, and then I concentrate, focus only on the other kind of things, and then I really don't bother for my own mother tongue, sometimes my own language, which is going to play important role in expressions and whatnot. So and therefore, it is an observed fact that the good number of skilled language teachers availability in our nation is less, and this number should be more. I proceed further. You can see that this is one of the things which I got it from the internet. And of course, I will not go into details of that. These are the only major languages which are spoken in that given region. There may be number of sub languages or spoken languages. What we say in Maharashtra, when we say this is the major common spoken language, for example. But it is always said that after every 15 kilometers of distance, the language tone, the content of language, the expression of language goes on changing. There are many, and there are thousands of languages spoken, and then depends upon what kind of thing. As I said, in Mumbai or the metropolitan cities like Mumbai or Pune or Nagpur, and in Nagpur, when I was visiting, when the Marathi people, they speak Hindi, the impact of MP on them, right? It is a border kind of thing. When you go to the Kolhapur kind of region, the impact of Telugu on Solapur kind of district, and Kannada on the impact on the Kolhapur kind of. So it's a mixed kind of thing. It's very interesting to know that the people there are many states, and there are people who stays on the border of any states, right? They are normally, they are familiar with bilanguages or bilingual kind of approach, right? I just was talking about Kolhapur. In the border of Kolhapur, if you go, they know the language like their own Marathi. At the same time, they speak, and they can speak either the Telugu or Kannada and whatnot and so on. It's very interesting. So I mean, we could only in metropolitan cities like Mumbai, if at all you come across with different kind of people. I'll just, excuse me, I have some phone, I'll just take it up. Yeah, I'm sorry. There was an urgent call from the Mantralaya. Can you hear me, Om Prabha? Can you hear me? Hello, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
You are audible.
So I was talking about different kind of languages which are spoken, and n number of languages because when I was going through that, there are maximum number of languages. So it is always said that language teaching be more experiential, right? It is normally what we teach and what we learn is something different, and what we teach as the teacher of the language is something different. Even whatever subjects we teach, it requires a language. Is the flow of language is more important, and then how we are going to have an experiential approach in the subject like languages, making it interesting, making it more meaningful, making it telling them in regard to normally today what we do, we talk about the kind of job opportunities only, right? But then there are, I mean, unless and until teacher knows, when I was talking about a teacher knowing all kind of things, right? Whenever he or she teaches any kind of language, in that given language, the importance of that language, the tradition of that language, the origin of that language, the interesting part of that language, and then connecting and link to that to regard to how they, if at all they study this language, how they will be placed up, and how it will be useful for the Indian development, their own culture tradition to preserve and so on, right? And I mean, how easily we are able to converse in and interact in the that is our ability. How we can connect to people, right? Whether it is spoken or the written language and whatnot. And when we're talking about the music, art and crafts, when we sometimes you would like to appreciation of any good thing. We say, oh wow, and the things gets over, expression is over, because we are shortfall. I said in general, I say when we are short with words, because we are not with word power, and to have the word power with us, to enrich ourselves with the word power, naturally we should learn, we should read, we should understand different approach way by which to the language. Then only we will be able to express, understand and express the different aspects of the music or the different arts and the different kind of crafts. We only appreciate and we say, wow, that is the three letter word, wow, was over. Or we say awesome and whatnot. But then expressing that, I mean, making others to understand that, we need that medium of language is going to play important role. And 3 language formula to promote multilingualism. In today's scenario, most of the colleges, most of the schools, now they have started, even the the speakers sometimes when they are invited, they go for bilingual or multilingual approach. And even the leadership kind of training, now it is not only one language. They try to use multi-language, depending upon they try to understand in what capacity, in what approach they can continue to do it, right? So हम चाहते हैं कि हम करेंगे, and then sometimes we say आम्ही करणार, आपल्याला केलंच पाहिजे, and something. No, all different kind of approaches to be. So multilingualism. I mean, when you are in the part of maybe in South India, you may be able to. I mean, you have your own mother tongue, maybe Tamil, and you know the neighboring language like Malayalam and all, or you know the different kind of languages. Or when you go to different parts, you'll find that the teachers play a major role and they contribute a lot. There are many good people. There are many good teachers I have seen that they know different languages and they make the students easy to understand either their own subject or make them comfortable to understanding, to know kind of thing. And that is a required. So multi-language or the multilingualism is an important approach to understand, because it is always said as an object fact that any human being, when he or she is being taught in his own mother tongue, understand better. And when I say mother tongue, it is a language of origin as far as he or she is concerned. And because he from the birth, before the birth, that child has started knowing this the mother tongue, because that's why it is known as mother tongue. And it is also observed fact that after the birth, till the period of 6, normally the development of brain is so fast and absorbing capacity is so fast that picking up any kind of words. Because my granddaughter is just at the age of 2.5 now. I know when my daughter in touch with her in different languages, she picks up so fast. And there are people who really focus on that, making their own child, making the development of the child in such a wonderful approach that those things were not available. Now the science has proved a lot kind of things, and therefore there are many kind of persons who are making use of this. Teaching in the home and the home language or local language, like I mean, when you go different parts, I mean, in city the language may be different, the origin of language in the village maybe slightly spoken language may be different, but making them more comfortable in regard to their own words, using of their own different kind of words. I mean, as far as their spoken language is concerned, if they are used in teaching them, learning them, understanding them, or making them more comfortable, that will help in the increasing their capacity to understand, to learn, and that confidence level may increase. Right? Hiring of outstanding local artists, writers, craft persons as experts. And of course, we do invite sometimes, in every college or every school, they invite some speaker, right? And the local artists or the local writers and the craft person regard to the art, the kind of traditions, whatever they have to promote the experiential kind of learning. And I will not go in details of that, because if I go on speaking with regard to the drawing, painting, rangoli and kind of things, and it will take a lot of time. The writers in the composition writing, the essay writing, different kind of write-ups, and how the local artists also plays a major role, because there are different kind of artists as far as the different kind of art is concerned. They are available locally, and if they are being invited, and now you might have heard that the UGC has come out with a proposal called as Professor of Excellence, or Professor to be taken up. Maybe they need not be having their own qualification. There is no need of SET, NET and MPhil and PhD. But a person having with the knowledge in that particular part and is expert in that, they may be now will be appointed. There is going to be discussion going on, and it is called a Professor of Eminence and whatnot, as what I heard just now recently. So these kind of things are going to happen. Then tribal and other language comes into the curricula. Are we introducing the tribal? Are we taking care of? There are a number of different kind of tribal belts. There are different tribes in their own locality, and to bring them in the mainstream of education, because government is doing a lot of things. Whether it is not only state government, the central government now has taken the initiative that right to education kind of act, or taking help that every child has a right to take education, right? Whether they belong to any part of the corner of the nation, whether they belong to padas or the village or the any kind of thing, right? Normally, very people who are educated, their own sons and daughters will get educated, but there are workers of different parts. What about them? They also want to learn, and therefore there is a different way by which these people can be brought into the education system. And but if they are taught, if the education is given in their own language, the local languages where they live, at least to make them interesting and understanding, they can do wonders. It has been observed that they are doing wonders, and bringing that into curricula and teaching that locally, and then slowly and steadily make them multilingual with a bilingual kind of thing. A stage has to come, and then the things will happen and go on changing, right? We need to really to develop the excellent team of teachers, right? It is not only because I even though I say I'm teaching for 42 years, I'm still learning. I never said in my life that I'm the best teacher. Even though I got my doctorate degree long back in the 1983, I got my PhD in chemistry. Those days when there were no computers and everything was available, we used to type everything on the typewriter and whatnot. But those days were different. And still, when today, in the kind of thing which is available on the different kind of systems available, we learn a lot, right? And therefore, the teachers of today's generation is smarter than us. I always say that the next generation is smarter, right? And you will also agree with me that your next generation, your students, your next young teachers other than you, they are definitely more approachable. They are more challengeable. They are with the open-minded. I say openly that I'm still learning a lot from my students and from my young colleagues around the thing. So, and therefore I say the team of teachers, excellent teachers, to be developed, because there are different kind of norms which I'm coming later, how the contribution has been taken care at Maharashtra level. The use of mother tongue and local languages to be introduced as a part of the medium of instruction, which I said earlier also, is very important, right? And we do have different kind of literature available, and the translation of that and interpretation of that kind of documents, what we refer to as, there may be historical monuments, historical documents. There are a number of different kind of enriching kind of things are available, right? So the history person can talk better than me in this, right? But then there should be some kind of program to be designed that maybe my certificate program in translating the kind of thing, or degree, because we rarely have any kind of, only when you go for specialization in some language like Marathi or Hindi or history, then there will be. But why not to inculcate this kind of approach at the undergraduate level, so that the student, the teacher makes aware of the use of that, so that will also widen the spectrum of the knowledge and understanding, which will ultimately contribute for the preservation and taking care of our own culture and art and the language, etc. Right? Knowledge of the rich diversity should be imbibed in learners. We know that our Indian nation is with the diverse kind of people, right? When you go from Jammu to Kashmir to down to Kanyakumari, the different kind of culture, tradition, language spoken, the kind of food culture is something different. The kind of different kind of clothes which we wear is different. The different kind of what is cultural traditional programs which we are expressing is different, right? There are a number of kind of things. It's very interesting. When very few things which I know, I still have very little knowledge, right? When they talk about even the folk dance, the moment we say Bhangra, we talk about Punjabi, right? Punjabi Bhangra hai. Then we go to Bharatnatyam, we talk about the South kind of thing. When you talk about Lavani, we are talking to Marathi kind of culture of Maharashtra and whatnot. But there are n number of forms of the songs, folk dance, folk art, everything is available. And then the rich diversity, if the students are, there will be some part in the syllabus as far as new education policy is concerned, that if not, that the teacher of the college or the teacher of the school, when they're teaching their own subject, any subject they're teaching, she or he is available, are aware of different kind of cultural tradition, different kind of forms, different kind of norm, different kind of diversity, rich diversities we have in as far as our India is concerned. Then understanding and appreciation of diversity, culture, tradition, and knowledge of different parts of India, which I mentioned just now, that we should know, then only we can talk about n number of things. And we can make it interesting. These are the unique customs and traditions in India, which I got it. Of course, I've told you very clearly that it is not my own thing, but of course, Om Prabha has made me to such kind of thing. So thank you once again, Om Prabha, that you made me to learn myself, to read myself a lot of things. And of course, I have highlighted only few here. There are many different kind of customs and traditions as far as our own nation is concerned. And I will just read out the names. All the people who belong to different parts of the same part of that, you should know that the Aghoris Sadhus of the Varanasi, the Hola Mohalla warriors of Punjab, the Buddhist chanting of Ladakh, Chow dance of Odisha, Trimurti Ka firewalking tradition of Tamil Nadu, worship Nag Panchami, of course I know because it's part of the Maharashtra. Then this is the Tantric Festival of Assam, Latmar Holi Uttar Pradesh and whatnot. Transgender Festival of Kuvagam, Tamil Nadu, and then Sankirtana dance of Manipur. There are many kind of them, which is very interesting. I was reading that, then I came to know that, my goodness, we are still have to learn a lot of things. We are not aware. We talk about, we take care of only, what we say, that we live only in a cage. We don't want to come out. We are safe in our own home. We are safe in our own town or maybe own city, and we are happy with that. But then when there is at least some use of technology such a way that in the time at which now it is so nice that at this moment, I could connect. This technology has helped us to connect to all people from different parts of the nation, right? We have started, who made this, made it compulsory? A coronavirus has made us, which is not visible. But because of that, people started knowing the importance of this technology and they started using it. And when there are things available on the fingerprint, on the one touch finger kind of thing, the mobile what you have has got everything available with you. On single button touch, you get all the information, right? The Google, you say, Google se pucho, whatever you want, you just type in, you get all information. So it's very interesting. I was reading that, it took me almost 3-4 hours to understand different forms. Of course, I will not go in details of that. So I salute all those people, those who know out of this, because there are many who knows the better than me as far as their own traditions are concerned. The promotion again continues with the creating programs in education across arts, language, and humanities with expanded quality opportunities in employment. Now, even though we talk about employmentability and whatnot, but now this NEP has made such an interesting kind of thing. There will be multiple entry and multiple exit. I mean, you have to acquire the credit-based program. You have to acquire credits. I mean, if you are not getting time, you can leave. You can again rejoin. It's called a multiple entry, multiple exits. This is one part. Second part is that there is a provision that any person, like for example, I'm from chemistry and I want to learn something from art or something from architecture. I can opt for that. So I can have to only on credit. So I have to gather on number of required credits in a given period of time. The moment I acquire that credits for the fulfillment of my degree or diploma or the certificate course or the master's program, then I will be awarded with that particular kind of degree and whatnot. It's very interesting. And it is therefore, my dear friends, please read the document of published by University Grant Commission. This is called as Academic Bank of Credits, ABC. Right, and that is very interesting that all it is going to be now will be now in Maharashtra. There is a committee appointed for the implementation of this center program, and the things have already started. There are a number of private universities and colleges, autonomous colleges already started implementing their own syllabus and whatnot. Expand translation and interpretation efforts for high quality material. Unless and until we don't focus up whatever things are available as per the traditions and culture concerned, that if it is available in one particular language, can we not translate it, interpret it, and put it in a proper documentation level? Then only the end material is available. Now today we have, even though Google is now available in different languages. I mean, when I convert my English language into Marathi, I can get in Marathi or Telugu and whatnot. There is a, what do we say? I will not use the term ocean, but the knowledge is such a big kind of thing that whatever and how much we study is going to be less. And we may have to take a number of births accordingly, I can say that. Anyway, the written and spoken material to public, because it is not available. We say normally, why don't we teach in our own mother tongue? But teaching a particular subject in a given mother tongue the material, if it is not available, isn't going to be our duty. When we say we are qualified, we are educated, when we claim it, we are teachers, we are professors and whatnot. It is a time for us, because my dear friends, try to understand, I'm not putting anybody of you down. We are lucky that we are a part of the education system, whether you are a school teacher or a college teacher or a university teacher, and whether you, whatever subject you teach, right? But then, are we playing a role of collecting material, availability of that, even a small portion of that, whatever knowledge we have understood interesting, are we converting into knowledge and into transferring into particular as a document, creating into different, your own different languages, then only the material will be available. Study material availability, what we say, then we can say that, okay, I want to teach my students in subject of chemistry in Marathi, but there are in this language of Marathi in chemistry is available. But then still, there are many kind of things which are not yet to be translated, transferred, collected, put it in a proper shape, put it in order, then only we can say that. And therefore, this NEP, the government of ministry has proposed to establish an institute of translation and interpretation. Very interesting kind of thing. Like we have IITs, Indian Institute of Technology, which was formed those days when Prime Minister was Jawaharlal Nehru was there. That time this IIT started, then the management school system came, and today's scenario that we want to become only either a doctor or an engineer, and then other things come to latter and whatnot. This kind of institutes will definitely focus into different direction, which will take care of our cultural heritage, the knowledge system, etc., etc., and also will be linked to the professional approach, professional availability, and the kind of what do we say, the job opportunities available. Teaching and interdisciplinary research, right? It is a time that it is we normally talk about multidisciplinary research, multidisciplinary education, right? As I was said, that now art, science, and commerce, because you all know that, I think you might have read this NEP document. A time has come that there will be only 3 types of institutions available. Will be available. One will be only fully autonomous. There will be no what we say, affiliation to the university. If you want to establish yourself, you have to prove that you are good, and therefore only you can exist or sustain yourself. Then second is the type of institution will take care of only research. The third will take care of only higher education, like master's degrees and PhDs and whatnot. So this interdisciplinary research is very interesting kind of thing. And the time has come that even this, we talk about Marathi language, we talk about Hindi, we talk about Telugu and whatnot, combining together. And if somebody comes together and do a multilingual kind of approach, not only in regard to putting and document and what, but understanding, knowing the culture, tradition, art, everything, putting in that, then only we can understand. Then it will be, teaching can be implemented, converting that into a particular availability of the material in regard to development of that. The multidisciplinary higher education system, which has already been proposed by NEP and which is already started in some universities, some colleges, it will take time, its own time. But then understanding, studying classical languages and literature, efforts to collect, preserve, translate, and study the tons of thousands of manuscripts. I was mentioning about there are number of things are available as far as the historical part is concerned, historical monuments, documents, and etc. Right? I mean, these are to be preserved, they are to be translated, they are to be studied and converting into your own different languages, maybe in mother tongue, maybe in other various kind of language. So this translation and interpretation is going to play a major role in time to come. So a stage will come that these languages will go, I mean, as I said, of course, it has its own status, but then it will have more value addition when you go for it. So establish Academy for highly spoken Indian languages, right? We have been, of course, there are, I know that, I mean, I'm talking about, I know my mother tongue being Marathi, I know little bit English in what way I can communicate. It is not a language of English where it has its own status and tradition, but then, at least where I can just communicate to you. But then when I was a student of the college at undergraduate level, because of my good friends from different languages, I could study something. Then I can little bit speak in Malayalam, I can speak in Tamil, I can speak in Bengali. It's very interesting, not much more, but at least minimum communication kind of thing where I can do that. There are many of you who have been having the multilingual approach and can give a good kind of thing. But then if we can increase that and if we can involve that, and therefore these highly spoken Indian languages academy, once it is established, I mean, forget about that academy, even at our own college level, when you do it for different kind of thing, like, we have the different literary association in the college, like Marathi Literary Association, Hindi Literary, Gujarati Sahitya, or maybe Tamil, Malayali, whatever. And that gives a different approach altogether, which will make the, once because, unless and until we don't start, who will begin? Who will do that? Right? When you do it today, maybe the result may be good after 5 years. Maybe after that, the next generation may do it better than us. Like that, then only these what you said called as integrating all that people together from all over nation, because our diversity is being more and very interesting. Then only we can understand our own nation better in what we know today. Because normally we appreciate and we know only through maybe through films or maybe through the dramas, when you see the Oscar Film Awards and whatnot. Like languages are associated with the art and culture and the documentation. Very interesting, because unless until, I mean, in the expression of art, beauty of art or beauty of culture, expressing that, the language plays a role. The videos, dictionaries, recordings, and elder people's. I said in the beginning that in any system, I mean, even though at your own home, you will find that your grandparents knows better things than you. We don't overlook them. Give some time, be with them, right? They will be happy because they remember, they recollect everything, because those days, whatever they have understood there, they'll be stored in their own memory packets, and their memory chip is very stronger than us, right? If you just want to say, give them a chance to speak, give them a chance to question them, interact with them, you will understand our own tradition better than only by reading the books and videos and whatnot. But of course, this video dictionaries and recordings, and of course the elder people, this entire thing, all different ways by which we can understand our own culture, tradition, different languages, and very interesting. Speaking languages, telling stories, reciting poetry, performing plays, folk song, folk dances. These are different forms by which we showcase our own cultural tradition and trying to understand our own tradition, right? The scholarship to study languages, arts and culture, proficiency in languages are part of the qualification parameters. So this is going to come. As I was mentioning, that the proficiency in languages, right? A stage will come that language, of course, I don't say that there is no, at this moment also, the language has a different role, and it is playing a lot of role, because any kind of media requires a language, right? Whether it is television, whether it is radio, whether it is different channels required, whether it is drama, whether it is just a film and kind of thing, the language it is not only shooting, because it is not only the picture. Of course, there are some pictures we talk about who are self-explanatory, but then to understand in a better way, to make people to understand that, we use language. So this, any kind of language and their own proficiency will make the employment opportunities better, and that will add to the more opportunities for the employment. Then coming to the, see, this is one of the things which you all know, that before the education policy was introduced in 2020, right? There was the then Minister of Education, or the MHRD, has started a program which is all over world, all over Indian national level, Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat. What a fantastic idea. Of course, before that, there were the program from the NSS, and there are a number of programs being taken care by different institutes. That now promoting engagement between states and UTs through pairing, interaction in exchange of pattern in areas of language, culture, literature, music, tourism, cuisine, adventure, visits and trekking, right? Sharing of best practice, etc. Now, I will not go in details of that. But then this has made in such an interesting part of that you can imagine, you can see that this is still going on. All these, there are different states. The Jammu Kashmir is connected to Tamil Nadu, Gujarat connected to Chhattisgarh, and like that pairing of the states is made in such a way that there are different culture, different language, different locations and whatnot, ultimate, right? And through this, what are the activities being done? Student exchange. One of the college from the given state is connected to other college in the other state, and they had to understand, do an MOU, and then the students, one batch of students from one college or one state will go to other college, and they will stay there with maybe 3-4 days. They will try to understand their culture, knowledge, tradition, language, the food culture, anything, organize youth festivals so that the youth activities they can understand, or the hidden talents in the youth can be understood by them. The exchange of teachers is another way by which we can know the different aspects of both the states. Screening of films, celebrating ESBS Day in all central institutes, formation of ESBS clubs, translation of popular books. The book which is more popular in the given state, in the given language, has to be contributed and to be translated, to be make understand, and like that. So this is the way by which exchange of knowledge, exchange of tradition, exchange of culture, understanding culture and tradition, of course, through the language kind of thing, and knowing one another, how it is possible. So student-teacher exchange, every year at least 50 students, I just mentioned that, purpose to learn the language, culture, living styles, etc., social customs, food habits, and learning, and other aspects of social cultural affairs. Now this program of ESBS, Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat, right? EBSB, right? The program is for the students, program for the teachers, and this is the exchange kind of program. And I mean, when before this Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat was to come in practice, there is of course one of the organization called as NSS, National Service Scheme. I'm proud to tell you that I'm a part of NSS for more than 40 years, and I was heading the department of I was as an in charge of the NSS for the entire state of Maharashtra. So because of that, I could get a chance to move to every district and most of the colleges in Maharashtra, and where I could learn a lot by visiting, by visualizing their language, their approach, their tradition, their culture, their food culture, many kind of things. So, and this is NSS is still going on more than almost 50 years now. 1969 was established by Ministry of Defence and Sports, Government of India, and of course NSS is known all over India. There are not less than about 50 lakhs of youth from undergraduate, graduate level who are involved in NSS for last many years, and like that. So screening of films, etc., etc. Should organize screening of films of the pair state every year to have an ESBS and so on. I will not go in repeating this. So this has played an important role in bringing people together, exchanging their views and ideas, understanding their own culture, tradition, languages, behavioral pattern, and learning by observation. It's called as learning by observation and experience and sharing, which of course does a lot of kind of thing. I'll come to the last part of my presentation for you to understand and how lucky we are in Maharashtra. MSFDA stands for Maharashtra State Faculty Development Academy, right? And this MSFDA has been formed as Section 8 company in 2013, and of course, established in this 2020, and we have started number of programs. This MSFDA has collaborated with number of different renowned institutions, and because NEP talks about if there are good teachers, if the teachers are trained properly in a given approach, understanding and knowing, if the teacher should have an approach of as a learner. A teacher should be a learner. If he or she is a learner, she can go to be a good teacher. I will not say best teacher. Best teacher always takes time, right? But then there is never end. There is no end for the teacher to be a learner, and then to make available good, learned, experienced teachers for the next generation, especially for the students. The state government of Maharashtra has taken initiative, and that is called as MSFDA, which is formed, and all our teachers, when we undergo training with HRDCs, Human Resource Development Center, which was earlier called as Academic Staff Colleges, all right? But the number of HRDCs in a given state, the number is very small, right? And number of teachers getting learning out of that, from that, or getting training is a very small number as compared to the huge population of the teachers. Even in state of Maharashtra, the number of teachers is not less than about 50 to 60,000. And if you consider different parts and the entire nation, the number is really big. And there are only 5 HRDCs in Maharashtra, whereas all over India, the number is not exceeding more than 66 and so on. And then it is, even though University and Commission has started with those HRDCs and academic staff colleges, and the purpose is good, it is still going on, they are doing best job and good job. But then to promote this training to the teachers, MSFD was established, and is our own director, who is an IS officer, very young IS officer, Dr. Nipun Vinayakji, and the entire team of MSFD, they are doing a good work. That is called as, we have done collaboration with different parts of the different institutions. One is the Initiative of Change at Pasgani, which is at Mahabaleshwar, and where the program is organized, given the 5 days training on the ethics and values of higher education. One of the interesting things, when we talk about the art, culture, tradition, and languages, the Deccan and Research Institute of Pune, they are collaborated, and they are giving training for 5 days to the teachers on the archaeology and linguistics. And the programs are going on. Vishwakarma University giving training on the innovation and cutting edge technology, then establishment of centers of excellence, Institute of Chemical Technology in Mumbai giving you innovation and entrepreneurship and cutting edge. Kavi Kuluguru, which I mentioned earlier, the language university, Sanskrit University, talks about training on Indian knowledge systems. And ISER Pune, which is an Indian Institute of Science, Education, Research, right? There are many ISERs at different parts of the nation, right? Give the pedagogy, approach towards science and math, how to teach science and math with interest kind of thing. Now there is a program with the in collaboration with JJ School of Art, where they talk about art integrated learning, means the importance of art in our life. What is important of that and how we can look at it. One of the university at government, they actually take a group of teachers to different parts of the tribal belt. We refer to this program as a tribal pride journey, and then to understand what is happening in tribal area and how the teachers have to play a role in bringing those tribal people up, and what are they doing, the NGOs working with tribal area, and understanding that approach, and then incorporating those kind of things in the colleges which are situated in tribal belt. Then we have one of the program called as Pratna Parisar, creation of emotional friendly campus, where our group of 5 to 6 in the group of from one college, a few students, like 2-3 students, one non-teaching staff, 2 teachers, and 1 management representative. Group of 5 to 6 or 7 from a given college. About 5 to 10 colleges are invited, and they are given training for 5 days on how to develop an emotional friendly campus. And this is especially in regard to the understanding the mental health and kind of thing. And it is one of the well-known institute of psychology health, which is an internationally famous level, and they are providing it. Rational thinking, it is called a peer-to-peer learning, understanding, scientific and rational thinking approach in while education is there. If it is given to the teachers can do the better things. Then Manasrang is my mental well-being, colleges and digital support. Then there is disability inclusion and learning approach, where the students are given, teachers are being trained on how to take care of these physically challenged people, physically challenged students, and how to make them understand, because there are different kind of disabilities which I came to know that there are about more than 20-25 disabilities where the students are learning different kind of disabilities available with the students, and to taking care of bringing them in the main field of education. We are providing training, the gender sensitization, technopedagogy. Then there are transitional leadership kind of program. All those who want to become the principal, or the teachers who are joined as a principal at the young age, or in the beginning of the career of a principal, they should know what is leadership, and therefore transition leadership program is being organized. Leadership development training program, IT skill upgradation, and there are many more as such. So these are different kind of organization. So out of these, we are talking about the language, art and tradition and culture and whatnot. So these two programs, Deccan College, Pune, right? The objectives where the understanding the socio, psycho, techno, and theoretical aspects of the bilingualism is being taught to the teachers, and then teachers understand the importance of archaeology, the importance of a language, how to take care of that, how to take, how to translate manuscripts and everything, and understanding that those teachers, when they are being given that this kind of training, they become more experiential kind of approach. They involve themselves in teaching. And then this is, as I was talking about the JJ group of institutions, this is one of the program which talks about art and science, art and culture, and then importance of art in life, understanding that, and then therefore human value, value of art in human life, and teaching, and to provide forum of practice from different domains, interact and understand the perspectives. So this is from my side, the presentation to you, my dear friends. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time. And I was a little bit fast because I wanted to cover everything. Thank you, Om Prabha. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. And thank you for enlightening us in relation to promotion of language, arts and culture, because this is the favorite area of all the human beings who lives in India particularly. Actually, India has a rich history as far as language, culture and arts is concerned, because you focused all the areas within the span which we have allotted to. Actually, there is lots of things there are lots of things you can also all the people can get lots of knowledge regarding traditions, customs, languages and culture is concerned. And sir also talked about unique customs and traditions in India. Sir also highlighted on how there is a need establishment of Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation. Sir also has given his deliberation on Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. And sir also highlighted the brief programs under Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your nice and wonderful presentation. Now I request all the participants to put your questions in a YouTube chat box or in Zoom chat box, if you have any. Actually, sir, there is someone who asked, actually the name is not there, but the question is here that NEP 2020 is American national policy.
Yeah, whatever it is, basically it will be taken up by somebody, right? And then whether it is American or Australian or whatever, see, there is nothing origin kind of things, we have to tell our own origin kind of thing. That's why I said we are lagging behind to understand many things. Had it been, we would have put in some efforts. I don't say that all. I'm talking about as far as I'm concerned. I'm still a learner. So taking some approach for somebody and then designing and doing something is not a bad things at all. Whatever good is to be normally accepted.
There is something more to be added, sir.
Yes, boli.
Yeah. I see. Even the Britishers introduced English. English is now the medium of instruction in colleges and universities. If there is something good, what is wrong in taking it and adopting it to the needs of the people? That is what NEP 2020 is. See, even our constitution has been culled from various sources. So let us not try to find fault with our, only try to see how best we can use the resources that we have gathered, you see, from different parts of the country.
Right, you are right, absolutely right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Actually, sir, what we need to do is we have to maintain a balance between the Indian languages and the foreign languages like English as well to establish a good rapport. And that's why the point that you have focused, like being multilingual, is the best choice for we Indians as far as the effective implementation of NEP is concerned. That is my view.
That's true, naturally. You are right, madam, because multilingualism is going to play an important role now. We cannot say that only learning one language. Understandably, we don't take that approach of, see, there is a good kind of literature available in one of the language, let us say, right? And if I want to know I mean, I had to at least understand that
Exactly.
to be translated, or I had to learn that language and to know it. Right?
Yes,
So, I mean, making the students to understand naturally the bilingual minimum or the trilingual approach has to be there.
yeah, sure, sir. Thank you.
So there is a question from Dhananjay Vasaikar sir, and he asks, is there any importance of collaboration of cultural society?
There is an importance.
Is there any importance of collaboration of cultural society?
Culture society of what? Because, basically I was talking about that. I mean, as far as MSCFD is concerned, we are coming out with some different kind of approaches. Now we are going to collaborate with, for example, there is what we say, MSCFD say that every teacher should know multiple kind of things in learning, right? So when we talk about with Jesus School of Arts, we're talking about importance of art in life. If they know how to enjoy, our director of MSCFD say that we should have an approach of that there should be a tension-free education or fear-free education as one part, and then the student should be able to learn with no tension on this one thing, and there should be less competition or competition-free education, because there are two kind of things. Competition-free education cannot be there because we always do competition, right? And as the madam is talking about the association with cultural kind of thing, we are now going to associate with the group of people coming from cultural area to make them. For example, if I say, if Om Prabha is teaching English, isn't it that even Om Prabha herself is have some kind of, she may be loving music, she may be loving art, right? So if, I mean, understanding and knowing different forms of dances in India, or different type of cultures available, different kind of paintings known, right? Something like that, or different kind of what we say folk dances in India. Then only we can tell our students. Kya hota hai, we, for example, if I focus only on chemistry I have to teach this one part. But other than in a given time of 45-50 minutes of lecture, he talks something different to my students about what are different kind of things available, and they make them happy while learning. Otherwise, they each and every student, they learn by fear, and they appear for the examination with competition, right? If that is the approach, we need to change now. We could not. I mean, as far as I am concerned, even though I'm at least lucky that I'm associated with MSFDA and we are doing and trying to learn, right? But then there has to be different collaboration with different association to make them to understand. Then only we can make the education important and make it more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Any more question from the participant side?
No.
I think no more questions, sir. Okay, thank you. Now the question answer session is over here. Now I would like to conclude this session. At first, I express my sincere thanks to Dr. Vasant Bhosle sir, Principal, Late Saukamaltai Jamkar, Mahila Mahavidyalaya Parbhani, for granting us permission for this online FDP. I express my sincere thanks to Dr. Sangeeta Auchar Madam, Vice Principal, Late Saukamaltai Jamkar, Mahila Mahavidyalaya Parbhani, for being present for the session. I express my sincere thanks to Honorable Dr. P.N. Pabrekar sir, resource person of third day of the online FDP, for accepting our invitation and enlightening us regarding some views on promotion of Indian languages, culture, arts. Thank you, sir, for your nice deliberation. I also express my sincere thanks to all my organizing committee members who are taking efforts for this online FDP. And at last, I express my sincere thanks to all the participants for joining with us for this session. With this, I would like to say that the session is over. Thank you.
Om Prabha, can you help me out? If you can send me the email IDs and contact numbers, all this list of the teachers who are attending or who are enrolled, I can mail them the document of MSFD, because we want to reach many. I mean, let it be from Maharashtra, let it be from outside Maharashtra also. If you can give me